y'all, in today's video I'm going to show you how to make these cute little wooden crafts for Christmas. So first up, let's make this cute little wooden bear. And all of the wood that I'm using today you can find at Dollar Tree. The little smaller wood slices and the bigger wood slices I got off of Amazon. I will link those down below for you guys. These two wood slices are about 3.5 inches wide, and then I'm using birch logs for its head and for its little feet. And I am using hot glue for a right now hold, but we can go back later and add in some super glue to make sure it holds more securely over time. And two of my longer logs out of my Dollar Tree bag had darker bark on them, so I feel like they were perfect for the arms for our little bear. And then I used the little mini wood slices for its nose and for its ears. And I had this really pretty 2.5 inch Christmas ribbon that I thought would be perfect for its scarf. You can also glue this around its neck so that it adds an extra hold for its head onto its body. And this helped cover up that space of where the arms don't really connect to the body and also fill in all that empty space around the neck as well. And I'm using a black paint pen to color its little pads for its feet. I got this off of Amazon and I will link that down below for you guys. You can also just paint this on with a regular paintbrush or use a marker or whatever you have on hand. And then using that same paint pen to add little details for its face, like its little eyes and its mouth. And just to darken up its nose a little bit, I'm using my distressed ink stamp and just going over that kind of roughly and give it a little bit of a rustic look. It doesn't have to be perfect. We want to keep that rustic style. And that's all it is to it for making this cute little guy. So next up, we're going to make this little birch log snowman, and we're using some of the same wood pieces as before, a 3.5 inch wood slice and the little birch logs from Dollar Tree. I also had these 2.5 inch wood slices to use for the hat, and we're using a piece of cardboard for its nose, and I just cut that to a little point. I peeled off the top portion of that cardboard just to give it a little texture. And I cut down a green plaid ribbon just to make it kind of small so it'll be perfect for our little snowman scarf. And then using our black paint pen to color its little eyes, and I also painted its nose orange to make that stand out a little more. And then also adding a little happy smile to our snowman with the paint pen. And one of my sweet followers on Facebook sent me these little tiny red bells, so I thought they would be really cute to put on top of our little snowman hats. And these are all things that I already had on hand, so I would just suggest using whatever you have on hand to add little embellishments, little decorations to your snowman. I figured our little pine cones would add a nice little rustic woodland look to it to add even more to the rustic style. And then to finish it off, I'm just adding some little twigs from my yard for its arms. This was a little intricate, but it turned out really cute. And for our last and final wood craft, we're going to make some little reindeer. So for its body, we're just using these little birch logs. I glued them together to make the body because I didn't really have any birch logs that were wide enough to go along with the size of the head for my deer. And I'm just gluing the head right on top of its little body and also gluing its little legs on. I'm using sticks from our yard for its legs. And I'm just using hot glue for a right now hold, but we can go back later to add in some super glue for a much longer and more secure hold. And they didn't stand up perfectly, but I kind of like that. I like that more wonky style anyway. It kind of adds that little happy reindeer look that Rudolph has in the Rudolph movie. And I used twigs for its little antlers and used a red bell for Rudolph's nose, and then used a little red berry for my other reindeer and just painted that black. And then for their little ears and tail, I'm just using a piece of burlap. Again, we don't have to be perfect with this. We're just cutting out somewhat of a little shape that looks like ears and a tail. And just a little dab of hot glue is enough to hold these on. And I felt like our other little reindeer needed a little something extra, so I'm just adding this ribbon around its neck to make it look like he has a little Christmassy scarf on. I didn't add any eyes to my reindeer because I felt like that was just going to take away from them a little bit. I really like how they look like this, but you can, of course, draw on some eyes if you'd like. I love this little bear out of all three of these. This has to be my favorite one. It's just so cute. I love how he turned out. But I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I think all three of these turned out so cute. Let me know down in the comments which ones that you like the best. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.